named after the famous author, Charles Dickens, is the first locomotive to have run an authenticated 2 million miles in service. Completed at Crewe Works to the design of Francis Webb on February 6, 1882, Charles Dickens was the last member of Webb's famous Precedent class to be built, carrying a 150 psi boiler which provided steam for a pair of 17 by 24 inch cylinders that drove 4 6 feet 9 inch driving wheels. Charles Dickens was capable of over 10,000 pounds of tractive effort and could comfortably jog along in the low 60s. Number 955 Charles Dickens was assigned to Longsight Shed in Manchester on the 1st of March 1882 and used on the daily 7:45 am train from what is today Manchester Piccadilly to London Euston, Monday to Saturday, returning with the 4 p.m. train to Manchester. After July 1888, the morning departure was moved to 8:15 am and subsequently to 8:30 am after July 1889. The 4 p.m. return remained completely unchanged. In the days of the tradition of one engine, one driver, it meant that Charles Dickens unusually had 2 drivers, David Pennington and Lee Bowden, and they both had their names painted in the cab, and no other driver was allowed to drive them. Lee Bowden was a local lad and lived at number 13 Tank Row in Longsight, a row of 2 up and 2 down terraces which were built in Longsight Shed. In fact, the railway line ran between numbers 18 and 20 Tank Row. Lee Bowden was destined to spend his working career with Charles Dickens. He started driving trains on the 7:45 am Manchester to London link in April 1876, and when he retired in 1902, he had an unparalleled record of service for any railway company. Sadly, Pennington had to retire from driving when he failed his eyesight test, and he was succeeded by Josiah Mills as a second driver of Charles Dickens. So ubiquitous was the presence of 955 Charles Dickens on the Manchester to London run that the train became known as the Dickens. On the 12th of September 1891, although less than 10 years old, number 955 is recorded to have run its millionth mile in service. Then, on the 5th of August 1901, number 955 hit the 2 million mile mark whilst making its 5,312th round trip between Manchester and London. Charles Dickens was taken off the Manchester to London link in 1902, but soldiered on for a further 10 years on secondary duties, being finally withdrawn and scrapped in 1912. I hope you have enjoyed this video on Charles Dickens, the first 2 million mile engine. And if you have, please like, share and subscribe and leave a comment below. I would like to thank my generous supporters on Patreon and Ko-fi for helping to make this video possible. And see you all next time on Rail Story.